Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jumper. Today I'll be reviewing Arkham Knight, which is the Batman Arkham Knight, which is basically the third game and the third and final game in the Batman Arkham series. And the main plot of this game is that a few months after the passing of the Joker, the Scarecrow has basically made this toxin, or this fear toxin that he created, and he's gonna use it to spread it all across Gotham, and it's up to Batman to basically stop him, as well as a new foe that has entered the fray, that being the Arkham Knight. And basically the Arkham Knight knows a lot about Batman, and yeah, it's basically an old Robin that Batman basically trained. And I think it's Jason Todd, if I remember, because I've seen several videos of it on YouTube, and it's basically Jason Todd, who I believe in the comics was beaten by the Joker with the crowbar. I believe that was Jason Todd Robin. And yeah, and as the Dark Knight, the Arkham Knight knows a lot about Batman, as I said before, because he was trained by Batman, so that means he knows all of Batman's moves, his assets, what kind of things he can do in terms of combat and stuff like that. And yeah, and I would say that this game is quite interesting because in the first few minutes of the game we get to see how sort of powerful the Scarecrow can get, because since the Joker is the clown prince of crime, he is pretty, like, I would say the top dog in terms of when it comes to crime and stuff, because like he's pretty much well known. I think he's like one of the most well known villains in Batman's rogues gallery, and since his passing or his death, there has been like a power vacuum thing, and the Scarecrow has basically swooped in to basically just fill in that vacuum. And since that, everybody in Gotham, except some of the police, some of Batman's other villains, and Batman himself, as well as Robin and Oracle and stuff like that, have basically stayed in Gotham to try and stop Scarecrow from spreading his fear toxin around Gotham. And I would say this is quite interesting because because like with the previous two games, there has been the Joker in some sense. With the first one, Arkham Asylum, he basically had to get to where Joker was because he had escaped after being captured on purpose. In the second one, in Arkham City, the Joker was kind of in leagues with Dr. Hugo Strange, and in this one, he's kind of in the game, because in the game you kind of see sort of like, from what I've seen online and stuff like that. I have rated some of the game, I haven't got that far. I know about some of the stuff that happens in it though. So yeah, with the Joker you do see hallucinations of him, and that's quite interesting. And even though the Joker is technically in the game, you don't get a fight. I don't know. You get a fight him. I don't know. But I believe the Scarecrow kind of takes control of Gotham in a sort of power dynamic way, I would say, because he makes everyone leave Gotham because he is kind of threatened to release a fear toxin, and that kind of makes everyone decide, okay, we have to get all the civilians out of Gotham and make sure that they're safe. Yeah, so yeah, I would say the plot is quite interesting. You interact with some of the characters in the game, like Oracle, who I believe is the Commissioner Gordon's wife, I believe. Oh no, not wife, daughter. And you also get to interact with some of the GCPD, as well as some of the villains, like the Arkham Knight, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, the Riddler, and various other villains. And yeah, that's quite interesting. And I think it's like, and also the villains have also kind of taken over Gotham as well, because of the whole Scarecrow threatening Gotham thing. So now it's time for some gameplay. So in Batman Arkham Knight, there are two types of combat you can do. The first one is basically the same old Batman Arkham gameplay you can do. It's basically a lot of combos you can do. You can basically hit a bunch of enemies about, and then you can just then do that, and then it's basically a bunch of just hitting enemies until they're down. Basically, it's basically just the same as the other ones. And again, this one feels as good as the previous game, because as I said in my previous review, in the second game, Arkham City, the combat feels a great improvement over the original game, or that being Arkham Asylum. And yeah, it's really good to see Batman, just taking down a bunch of goons. And this feels a lot. I would say the action is a lot more when it comes to fighting enemies as Batman. It feels a lot quicker because of his new suit in this game. Because I think in the previous two games, he had a bunch of basically in the previous games he had I think the same suit on, whereas in this game, if I use the crane now, Batman has the same suit. Where in this game he has a new suit which basically helps with fights. So yeah, that's been it for the main Batman-y content. Now I'm going to show you the other kind of combat you can do in the game. So the other kind of combat you can do is in the Batmobile, and this is basically just your way of getting around Gotham, and it's basically, I would say, a lot better than in Arkham City. I mean, because in both Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, you could basically just get around Gotham by just grappling to your whatever and anything and everything in your way, or you could grapple to. Whereas with the Batmobile, you can just get around quickly. And I do like how in this game you can just it's basically like you can have it just normal Batmobile 1 minute, then you can just turn it into a tank, machine gun thing the next. And when it's not in a tank, I would say it's a lot harder to control, especially if you're going from one place to the next. The best way I could say, if you're going and using the Batmobile, is to try and drift. So like this. I would say that's the best way to control the Batmobile, especially if you're going around tight corners. And I do like how you can, when you're doing this, you can just do donuts. That's probably the best way that's basically the best way of just using Batmobile is just drifting while doing donuts, really. That's probably the best way. I do like that. And also you can with the Batmobile you can use different gadgets on it. So you've got the gun, you've got a winch you can use to either pull away areas and also get the Batmobile from one side of an area to the next. I think that's really cool. And yes, it's fun. Oh, and also you can eject Batman out of it, which is quite cool. I do like that. And you can use Batman to just get from area to area. Let's say if you go into a story area, you can use Batman to just to get to the particular story element, and that's quite nice. And also, if you're near a road or anything, this could help. Get the car into this area before I can use it. Yeah, if I can get to an area that's near the Batmobile, hopefully. So, let's say if I'm near a place with I can use the Batmobile on. Hopefully, this can work. let's say there, if you press L1, you can automatically call the Batmobile to you, and you can just jump into it, and then you can just use it, which is quite nice. So that's been it for the gameplay. Now it's time to go back to the review. So one of the things I do like about the game is that every time you capture another supervillain, you get to take them to the GCPD and basically put them away, and I think that's really cool, because like that you don't really get to see that sort of thing in superhero games a lot. The only thing that kind of resembles something similar to that is in the Spider-Man PS4 game, because you do get to hear similar things to that, where you hear like, oh, the Kingpin has been taken to the raft, or Mr. Negative has been taken to the raft, or something like that, but not to the extent of you as playing as Batman capturing a particular villain, like the Riddler, Poison Ivy, whoever, and basically taking them to the GCPD yourself, and then just making sure that they go to prison and stuff like that. And that's really interesting. And I would say overall, the Arkham Knight, it's fun. It has some fun elements. I do enjoy some of the Batmobile moments. That's quite fun. I do like how it's used a lot. It can be a bit tricky to use at first, because it is kind of chaotic to try and if you're, depending on where you are, if you're trying to hit particular enemy vehicles, or to try and get to a particular area, it is kind of difficult to think, okay, I have to save for this bit, I have to save, like, let's say particular bullets, or try for when I do get to hit enemy tanks and stuff like that, or do I try and boost to try and get to the next area or particular side mission and stuff like that. But every time I would say, like, the Batmobile sections, even though you do use the Batmobile quite a bit, it's still fun to use, and I think it's quite enjoyable. And yeah, I say overall the Arkham Knight is fun, and I would say out of all the three games, I do like Arkham City. It's probably I prefer that one, but there was some fun with the Arkham Knight as well as Arkham Asylum. And so yeah, that's been my review for the Arkham Knight. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.